Susul.
Welcome to Under the Plum Bob, the podcast about all things related to the EA Maxis series of games called The Sims. We avoid the real world by talking about our made-up ones. Each episode will focus on one of several rotating themes, including building, gameplay, lore, and more. This episode, Team Llama will be diving into the mods with one of the most popular mods for The Sims 4, MC Command Center. We'll have upcoming episodes on other gameplay aspects of The Sim. Tell us what you want to hear at undertheplumballpodcast@gmail.com. I'm Melly, and I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Roxy. I'm the other host. Well, one of the other hosts.
I'm Caitlin. I'm the newest host.
So how long have you guys been messing around with mods in general?
I am a noob at mods.
Same. New to mods.
I don't do them.
Exactly, me too.
I never use them in any other. Sims 4 is the only one I used them for, and about 6 months ago is when I installed. I did it because I just wanted to know what it was, because like everyone kept talking about it and how like it is like it's a game changer. It completely changes what the game is, and I was like, that seems like a lot to put on a script mod, and then I realized it was true once I used it.
So real talk, this podcast was born in, I think, September of 2018. We started recording in October. Today it's February 2019. Once upon a time, Roxy on Facebook, that's me, asked on July 23rd, 2018, let's talk story progression. That is the evolution, births, marriages, etc. of the NPCs around your primary family. It doesn't exist as a built-in feature in The Sims 4. I'm toying with the idea of doing it manually just for fun. Let me just, spoiler alert, that was really hard. But it's also a feature of MC Command Center, which I don't use. What do you think about story progression? Do you worry about it? Do you use MCCC? And that was probably one of the oldest posts I've found on our group about this mod, but there were a lot of people just saying like, okay, what is this? How do I use it? Do you use it? What settings do you use? So it's definitely one of the more popular mods, and some people are like, I can't live without it.
Yeah, I downloaded this and Wicked Worms at the same time because I was tired of everyone talking about it. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to install mods. Let me look up a video real quick, and I did it. Immediately uninstalled Wicked Worms because it was totally not my thing. But I kept Command Center because it was actually super helpful. Very overwhelming at first, but helpful.
Oh, for sure. So I installed this mod like a week ago. I think it was a week ago Friday, and I immediately was like completely overwhelmed, almost crying. Like I couldn't figure out how to change the settings, and I was like, guys, what do I do? So let me just tell you. We'll tell you how to install it, and then we'll tell you some more about it. But basically, you go to this website. It is Deaderpool-MCCC.com, and obviously we'll put the link in our notes. You can find it with a quick Google too. So you go there, and the website is kind of intimidating and yet bare bones. It's like got tabs. So it's got like your intro page, and then it's got downloads, it's got documentation, and help. And you're like, great, this sounds so straightforward. It's not. It's written by a programmer, and bless his heart, it's not always easy to figure out. But basically, you want to go to the downloads tab, click on the top link for MCCC, and that'll be the most recent version that should work with your version of the game. But they have all the previous versions because, I don't know, reasons.
Not everyone updates their games like that.
Yeah, exactly. So
some people have, I think it's to partially fit with some people who might not have the official versions of the games because they'll never be updating. I'm wondering if that's part of the reason.
We don't endorse that, but yeah, that could be the reason. And so you download that file, you unzip it. If you can't unzip a file, I can't help you. And you put all the files that are in that package into your mods folder, which is if you're on PC, like documents, electronic arts, Sims 4, and then there's a folder just called mods. It's pretty straightforward. Like it sounds intimidating, like I'm modding my game, but you're really just like unzipping and moving files. That part's not so hard.
It's basically the same as doing custom content.
Right. But a lot of people who haven't done mods haven't done custom content. So but yes, if you want to do custom content too, I recommend getting into this mod and custom content rather than trying to get into this mod and Wicked Whims at the same time.
Yeah, no, that was a mistake.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
We admire your ambition.
Even if that is your thing, that's a lot to be like, new stuff.
I mean, it was pretty bad. Like, I installed it. I went to my restaurant because I own a restaurant in my game, and everyone was just like fucking in the bathrooms. And I'm like, uninstall.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to run a business here, and you guys are being nasty. Stop it.
Yep.
So, no.
At least I went to the bathroom.
That's a little intense. So MCCC, we have to find an easier way to MC Command Center. It's hard to say all those C's out loud. Actually has a secondary, it's like an add-on. It's not its own mod, but if you install the main mod, you can install one that's called Woohoo. And you do get like a lot more freedom with Woohoo settings without having the full-on like orgy that is Wicked Whims. Which there will be an episode coming out about Wicked Whims. We will not be the ones doing it, quite obviously. Maybe Caitlin. Caitlin, you're welcome to do it, but Melly and I are out.
I'll put my horror story, but
and some people on Cowplan are out, so that'll be a fun little mashup episode.
It'll just be me going like, I don't know, guys.
That's awesome. I mean,
and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
I'm not so opposed to hearing about it. I just don't feel like having it in my game. As I was saying, once you have your files in the mod folder, then you need to restart your game. And if you haven't already, go into the settings and check allow script mods. And then you might have to restart again. So when you start up your game and you have everything all set up, you'll see a huge list that pops up and says, oh, this stuff is installed on your game now. I generally recommend leaving that on. I think you can turn it off so you don't see it every time, but it's good to see like, okay, everything's been found. And here's the biggest tip. So you do this, like don't really do anything else on the site. Just install it, put the files in, get it in your game. Then go into your game and you can start making your settings. And I would say that's where the FAQ and the documentation tabs might come in handy. If you can read programmer, I wouldn't try. What I did was like I tried to read through the documentation before playing in the game, and that was massively confusing and overwhelming.
No, it's kind of easier just to click the stuff and be like, oh, this is where this is. Cool.
Precisely, because it's not exactly clear where it all is. So basically, you have different menus depending on where you click in the game. So now in your game, you'll have this cute little option on any menu that you click on, basically, that has the Deadpool logo, like the comic book character Deadpool is like red and black. If you don't know who it is, I can't help you.
What?
I know. How could you not know who Deadpool is? They really need to put a Deadpool costume into the game because that would be such an awesome.
Oh, that'd be great.
An awesome nod.
Oh, if you top the mischief career, if you top the mischief talent or skill or something, you can get the Deadpool, and then you can start making meta jokes.
You can start looking at the camera.
Yeah. Just like Office style.
Don't hate me, but I hate Deadpool.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry,
It's
everyone.
totally fine, Melly. He's definitely not for everyone. Oh, and so yeah, then you get into the game and you can click and find different menus depending on where you are. So you click on the mailbox and you get choices for your household and global choices and seasons choices. If you click on your sim and go into this Deaderpool menu, you get information about the sim. So it'll tell you who they're married to, where they live, how many children they have, how much room there is in their household available for, other characters. If they're pregnant and you go into like the pregnancy menu, I think it's just in the pregnancy menu that you see this. You'll find out if they're pregnant, but you have to be careful if you don't want to be spoiled because it tells you exactly how many kids they have inside them.
You can have triplets.
Surprise.
There's so many options. We can even scratch the tip of the iceberg.
We'd be here for hours.
Yeah.
Going through everything.
This mod may require more than one episode to cover fully, but we're going to give you the overview, the mods 101, since this is the mod to have, and we just wanted to cover it. So you can also click on a in-game computer, and there's another list of menu settings. This is where you get your population settings, pregnancy settings, and things about career and woohoo and clubs, and it's like so much to unpack. So that's the basics. So who is Deaderpool? We don't really know. I mean, I looked around, I couldn't find, but he's a creator, he's a programmer, he has a Patreon, has almost 2,500 patrons, and the tiers start at $3 a month. So he's making some bank, which is good because, I'm sure it takes a lot of time to keep this up to date and
And it's good work.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's patched immediately once there's a new patch that comes out. So good on him.
Yeah, programming is hard.
I mean,
as someone who does it on the side, I get frustrated by even writing one line of script. Imagining a whole mod.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's what goes into it.
He even did it just a way to I'll just do this to learn how to learn Python. Da da da. And I think partially because people were missing the story progression from Sims 3 too. I think that had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I remember the story progression from 3 a little bit. I didn't play it as much as I would have liked, but even Sims 3 had a mod for story progression. So apparently even that one, the built-in story progression wasn't quite robust enough for some people.
My main game, I don't like the story progression on, which is one of the reasons I didn't like Sims 3 that much, because there was no way to, it was hard to stop the town from going on. But on Sims 4, when I do, because you can have the different saved games, my challenge saves all have MC Commander running. It's just my main rotational play that doesn't have it. So it helps when, I want the drama of all this, of the town growing, but I don't want to do it because I'm doing this challenge, so I can pop out and take a look around and be like, what? And then go back to the main play.
So in The Sims 4, if you have the story progression on with the command center, will it come up on your notification tabs like it would with The Sims 3?
No. So you kind of have to go out and take a look at the town, go look at the different houses. The only time it tells me if something happens is if two elders had a child and then they both the elders die. It tells you an adoption notice. This family took in this child. Yay. It will tell you that.
That's cool. You can actually customize your notifications. So
you can.
I set mine up to let me know when their baby's born. It doesn't tell you their names, but it'll just be so and so had one female baby, etc. And that's kind of fun. But I didn't want to get too many notifications, so I didn't turn on the relationship notifications or the pregnancy notifications because I don't know if the game has a built-in pregnancy loss system. I don't know that I would add that to my game because it's a little too realistic. But
yeah, that's a bummer.
Because all pregnancies come to term in The Sims, I don't need to know when they're pregnant because I'll find out when they have the baby.
Yeah.
But obviously, you can do it however you want, which is great. Oh, there are 2 other downloads. There's a section on the website called Other Downloads. And these seem to be kind of deep cut things for advanced users. But one of them is called MC Settings Profiler, and it lets you set up different settings profiles. Ostensibly, it's for if you have multiple users on a computer, on a machine, or I would think it would also be good for power players who just want to have custom settings for different saves.
Yeah.
And there's something called DP Stable Editor, STBL Editor. And from what I can understand, I think it's so you can translate the mod text of any mod into other languages, I think. So yeah, it's definitely an advanced thing, but it's also on the site. In case you're out there modding and you're like, I need advanced tools. Okay, pro tip. As a friendly reminder, if you're going to start installing mods, sometimes they will not work after a patch update. If you're having issues with the mod, then go and check the website and make sure it's been updated to match the most recent version of the game. Also, anytime you're going to add a new mod in your game, it's a good idea to back up all your other mods, CC, and your actual games. And we have a link from a fellow team member, Jane. She's at Jane Plays Sims. And she did a tutorial on how to back up your saves and your CC and mods and stuff. So,
which is very useful. I used her video to help me.
Awesome, because I haven't done it yet because I wasn't modding, but now that I am, I'm like, oh, I need to learn how to do that.
Didn't have to worry about this before.
I know. And now, literally, okay, the first night I installed it, I was almost in tears. Over the next weekend, that weekend I played a lot and I kept totally annoying the team by saying, guess who so-and-so had a baby with?
You were so delighted at like every just like, what's going on in my world? You were just so happy about it. Like I was like, this is what this mod does to people, because you'll just be like, oh, this happened and this happened. Why is this person having so many kids? What's going on?
Oh my god, I think peak was Brittany Cho, the new celebrity from Get Famous. She had triplets and she was living alone, and I was like, no, that's just not fair. So I moved the babies over to the baby daddy, and he was living in a house with 3 other adults. So I'm like, the triplets will be fine here.
There's a lot of like single parent situations happening. I'm just like, a lot of drama. I'm here for it.
And if you're not here for it, you can set it so that only married people have babies.
I mean, that's what child support exists for. So you have your babies.
Oh yeah,
That's
you can
right.
set up child support with this mod, so you can like expect money for your single parent.
That changes the 100 baby challenge so much.
It does.
I mean, it's technically cheating, but I'm here for it. I cheat so much in my 100 baby challenge.
The rules are guidelines.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. Many of these settings that you may want to implement in your game require a game restart. So I would recommend just going through, changing as many settings as you want, and then just restarting the whole thing, because that way things will come into effect.
Yeah, don't pull at me. I started changing things that was playing, and then I'm like, why isn't it doing anything? Now I know.
It's stupid, mod. Doesn't work.
Exactly. I'm suing. No.
Deaderpool, you've been served.
There's also, you can also like say you hate that townies wear like, why are in your day outfit? Why are you wearing really fancy gloves? You can like take out like their clothes items that you absolutely hate. You can like you can blacklist them and have them never no sim will wear them.
Someone needs to show me how to do that.
No one wear rings anymore. I don't know why you guys want to do this.
Stop with the eyeball ring.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. And everyone loves to wear it.
Is an eyeball ring?
It's just like the peak of fashion, so you just obviously don't understand.
Oh.
So
It's such a specific style look. It's like not everyone can pull off the eyeball ring.
Summer Holiday will wear what she wants.
It's not a phase, Mom.
It was a phase. I'm sorry, Mom.
So when you get into drilling into the settings, most of them are kind of a toggle. They're like enabled or not enabled, or enabled for males and females, or one or the other. You can kind of just customize, or they're based on percentages. So, so you can count from 0 to 100. You're good.
I don't know how numbers work.
Did anyone figure out the same-sex settings? Because I struggled and still struggle with some of the same-sex like I just didn't understand what some of that.
No, I didn't really play with it that deep in.
Yeah. So there's a whole thing where you can do a ton of same-sex settings, and I think I got some of them working, but some of them I was just like, I don't understand. It's good that they're in there, and you can, once you understand them, you can have like a good ratio of same-sex relationships and things, but you could even set it so that by default same-sex partners can get pregnant and stuff like that. But I kind of kept my settings pretty realistic. Actually, in research, I found a link to a Reddit post, and this Redditor kind of went and like did all the like research and got statistics and numbers to like tell you what your lifespan setting should be to like reflect reality. So if you want to have like a very realistic gameplay, we'll have that link in the notes, and you can be like, oh, I'll follow these settings. Might be a good starting point for someone who's really overwhelmed.
Yeah, but like, I don't know what to do.
It also might help you understand some of the settings better just by seeing it explained.
Yes, that sounds like a good guideline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it.
That said, there are some YouTube tutorials as well that are helpful. There's a few linked on the actual Deaderpool site, and then, we'll put a link to another one that I found helpful in the notes.
I don't know why, but I can't do YouTube tutorials. I just don't like that I have to pause and go do it, pause and then go do it. I'd rather just read it out loud.
Totally fair.
I always end up just having to skip because I'm like, I'm stuck. I got to the middle part, and the middle part's where I'm stuck. So then I just have to start clicking around to be like, this 2 seconds is where I'm stuck. Watch it, and then be like, that's where I'm screwing up, and then go back.
I've learned a lot about just playing the game by watching YouTubers who do gameplay videos. Like, I learned a lot by watching English Simmer and people like that.
Same.
And then when you watch somebody who doesn't know the game as well, you're like, you're a YouTube Simmer. Why don't you know this?
I recently learned a lot of the build cheats with like control and making things smaller and bigger. It's changed my design play
Oh, that's awesome.
drastically, and I'm upset I didn't know about all of these things before.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Little Simsy.
Yeah, Little Simsy does great build videos. I also really like Simlissy and what's her name? Simarchy does a lot of tutorials. She has like several building tutorials. So check them out. They're not affiliated. So
just like that.
MC Commander.
We're just hanging out.
MC Commander also lets you pay your bills automatically. Which
It's
for me,
beautiful.
Can I get that in real life?
yes. That's why I added it to my game, because I totally pay as many of my bills automatically as I can.
I don't want to think about this money leaving me. I just want it to go away.
It could be a little awkward when people are like, how much is your insurance? I'm like, I don't know.
What amount that it is.
I can't do auto pay. I get nervous. Like,
That's fair.
what if I don't have all of that? You know,
It did crap out on me. My car insurance did not auto renew one time, and I was like, "You're supposed to do this."
Mm-hmm. Oh, I literally printed our car insurance, like the little cards you're supposed to keep in your car that says you have insurance. I printed them out like the other day, and I was like, my husband's name isn't on here. I don't know why.
Oh no,
That's concerning.
it's important.
So now I have to figure that out. Stupid real life. That's
why we play The Sims.
Yeah, exactly. Like auto bill, you just turn it on and it works. Child support, you just turn it on and it works.
Yeah, that child support always comes exactly when it's due. There's no fighting.
Or it doesn't. Like some people have said, like, where's my child support? It's not working. And so I don't know how to help them. But
Real life.
I have heard that complaint
Take it to court.
in the game.
Sims court.
I feel like you should, if that happens, I'm sure it's just a glitch, but I feel like you should be able to go yell at the baby daddy to be like, "Where's my money?"
I would, for sure. And you can use the cheat menu to raise your charisma so you can go and ask him for a loan.
Oh, good job. Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me just talk a minute about cheats that are built into this menu. So I'm not a huge cheater, but this mod makes
But it's only a click away.
Yeah,
But it's only a click away. It's so nice.
this mod makes it really easy. Like, I don't use the make happy cheat, but a lot of people said that's the main thing they use MC Commander for, is to make everyone happy all the time.
I don't have time to fill your needs. Just be happy.
But I've done a lot of things like setting relationships because, I've done a lot of gameplay, and it's like, if it's a relationship interaction that I know I can attain, I just don't have time, I'll just kind of be in there and be like, okay, you hate each other now, or you have a relationship now. What really bugs me is when people have babies together, but they don't have a relationship. So when I first got the mod,
One night stands.
I know some of them can be one night stands, but some of them should be relationships. So like I was
That's
going around
true.
and
Yeah.
setting relationships between people who had babies together. Because the baby would have a relationship with both parents, but the parents didn't know each other. And I was like, this is a little bit weird unless everyone's doing like sperm donors and one night stands. So I guess that's one of my only complaints. There's an option on the menu for flagging a sim, and I have not been able to explore this fully. So if you have any tips about using sim flags, give us a shout out, because it sounds like it could be really useful. Like you can you can set all sorts of things.
Because it looks like people will flag a sim for like, I don't want the sim to get married via the mods, so I can
Right.
go find them to get married to.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Off limits.
Like you can flag them to not die, although I heard some people just change them into a vampire and then change them back when they want to marry them. I'm like, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, one of the things you can if you click the mailbox, one of the things you can do is you can change all vampires back to normal and you can change all aliens back to normal. But when I read the vampire one, I was like, so you could just make them all vampire wannabes and make them a lot less cool because they'll just be like, yeah, they're just cosplaying up on the creepy hill by themselves. I'm like, that's sad. That's a sad version of this.
Oh my god, let me say it's so weird when you see Vlad get married to someone.
He hasn't in my game yet. Oh, who'd he get married to?
I'm trying to remember. I was somebody like Dina Caliente or something.
Oh. No,
something incredibly inappropriate.
She's too good in Sims 4. Like, I like her in Sims 4. Like, no, she's too good.
I mean, really, him with anyone wouldn't look right.
Yeah, no. Well, I could see, like, Nina as, like, a cash grab. Like, Nina doing it to be like, you seem rich. Fine. Whatever.
His house is a dump, though.
She'll make it.
She'll make it work.
I spent your money. I bought us these pictures and colored paint.
One thing this mod lets you do is you can make it, you can change settings for teenagers so you can ask them to move in, you can get them pregnant, you can get married.
This mod is why all of the gallery was just full of pregnant teenagers for like, do you remember that? Like during the fall when that's all the gallery was?
Oh, Lord. The good old times.
I remember the Reddit Sims community was very offended.
Yes.
Because if you look, they were all like these blonde, blue-eyed teenagers, and they were all pregnant. And you're like, why? Or like, these sisters got pregnant together. And you're like, why? What?
Skipper has a baby.
Yeah.
And then the alien one.
Oh, the alien pregnancies? Let me just say, there's so much in this mod. It's crazy, but like, you can go in and like totally speed up your pregnancy, which again would make the 100 baby challenge very different. You can also screw over your 100 baby challenge because you can set it so that aging's on while you're pregnant. So you do not get the bonus of not aging while you're pregnant.
They don't age when they're pregnant?
No, Sims don't age when they're pregnant.
I did not realize that.
Oh, yeah. But you can change it so they do.
Oh.
If you want with the mod.
No, I'm good.
That's like 100 baby level 100 difficulty.
Nah, I got 5 points in the 100 baby challenge, and I've been playing for like off and on for like months. So I don't need it anymore.
Let me just tell you, this mod unstuck my 100 baby challenge because I had gotten to the point where I was like, I have too many kids that have moved out and I don't want their lives to just end. And I was like really bummed. So I wouldn't play it because I'm like, I don't have time to go out and play their lives and play my Cassandra Goth Black Widow 100 baby challenge.
Yeah.
But now that I have the mod, as soon as I went in and had the MC Commander installed, they immediately started having lives, like getting married and having kids. And I was like, oh, okay, I feel better now. So I was able to continue playing. And I haven't cheated very much with the mod. The only thing I've done is I had to kill one of the baby daddies because it just got too hard to make him stay. Like basically if you imprison a sim and they're not in your household and you leave the lot, then most of the time that's the imprisoned sims will respawn and they're not in your prison anymore, and it's very annoying.
Or they don't die.
They don't die. It's just the whole thing. Like they're just making my life difficult. I've decided though, I'm focusing on the 100 babies. As long as I have the fathers imprisoned, if the game decides that they're not going to die, fine, but at least they're imprisoned. And when I get bored enough, I'll use the MC Commander to kill them, which I did.
I'll kill them myself.
Because I just had gone through like 14 baby daddies, including Cassandra's father, Mortimer, killing them using in-game.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, he was her first victim.
Did he have a baby with her dad?
No.
Okay, I thought that's what you were saying.
He was just
even MC Commander won't do that.
He was just my test kill. But this is like way before I got MC Commander. By the way,
do you have the vault?
I do have the vault.
Could you just throw the dudes in the vault?
I do have the vault. I was having a very hard time getting them to die in the vault. Like it worked once, and then I couldn't get it to work again.
What good's a money vault if you can't kill people in it?
I know.
Come on.
So what I have is a basement, and I have half of it is like for the urns, and it has the vault door, but it's just the one that's built into the wall. And then I recently decided I'm not going to add them to the family anymore. I'm just going to not care if they die, or I'll get bored and use the command center to kill them. And I put like 3 cells there that the baby daddies can just wait in. And then the other half of the basement, I turned into a gym because I was like, my family needs to exercise.
I may be a murderer, but I'm gonna be fit.
Those teenagers need to run out their emotional traumas. So,
and way back when we were talking about teenager settings, so you can set them to be pregnant, married, move in. You could use the settings to either restrict relationships so that they can only be teens with teens, elders with elders, etc. But then you're restricting your adult levels too. Like it would be young adult with young adult, adult with adult. I didn't want to do that, so I left it open. And so there's the potential of having the elder with the teen, which some people can't handle. I'm like, it happens in real life. I'm just going to go with it. So there's that thing. So if you don't want that, you have to like restrict it to age groups.
Yikes.
You can also turn off familial settings. This mod will allow for the incest. We're not advocating incest, but
it's there.
There it is.
If you want it.
I mean, in our cult episode, we mentioned an example where the player had made it so that the women in the household were or believed they were sisters. So they were set in the game as sisters. So she had to turn on the incest to keep the sex going.
Sister wife.
Which is, so there are some gameplay reasons you might do it that are not completely disturbing. And also, if you want to have disturbing gameplay, I mean, I found my gameplay getting a little more disturbing since I had more freedom with MC Commander. Melissa was like, this game has changed you. Do we want to tell some stories?
Oh, yeah.
We have a little bit of like, what do you call it? Testimony from our fellow teammates.
Rebecca says, I will admit, I have affairs available and let the townies marry and fill up the game as much as they want. I love finding out who is married to who has children together, and then who has an affair. In typical Don Lothario fashion, he always seems to have hundreds of children running around. I laugh when Judith Worth ends up married to someone like Sergio Romeo, because I really couldn't see that happening. But for me, I can't play without this. I play challenges over generations, and this is a way to keep my game populated without having to turn to the gallery to download a family. Valid.
Rebecca uses it how I use it. I want to keep the drama going. I don't want to play through all the drama, but I want to keep the town moving.
Yeah, that's kind of how I did it. I had to like break myself of the need to go and find out who all the baby daddies were because it was just taking too much time. I downgraded my pregnancy settings a little bit because everything was set at 20, and I was like, there's 1,000 babies born every week. So I dinged it down a little bit, and I don't let elders have babies because that's nonsense.
I think I could see Judith Ward using Sergio as a boy toy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not married, but definitely as a boy toy situation.
Oh, definitely. She has that cougar look.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does. I have it set so that it takes into account family traits. So if you're like family oriented or whatnot, or romantic, you're more likely to have relationships and babies. And I don't know what Judith Ward's traits are, but she sure seems to get up in it a lot.
She's married to the comedian from the Roomies household in Oasis.
Oh, which one is that? Is it Mitchell?
Yeah, Mitchell. Yeah, he's the comedian. He married Judith Ward in one of my saves, and I was like, well, that seems unlikely. They have a toddler together.
I mean...
So I don't know if it was a, whoops, we got to get married now situation, but...
Judith seems like the type who would have a lot of husbands.
Yeah, might just be the first victim. I can take Marissa's.
Yeah.
Okay. Just started using MCCC. Best feature to be added is the game time speed setting. From the PC Click gameplay setting to game time speed 24-20 for a little extra speed. I changed mine to 22, and it helps so much with the timing of my game. No more Sims taking 6 hours to eat their grilled cheese. I also changed the settings so all ages from teens through elders can marry. So you click the PC, you click MC pregnancy, marriage sim selection, ages to run marriage, as we just talked about. And MCCC's default setting is for young adults to only marry young adults, which I thought was odd.
I think it's actually adult. But yeah.
Adult. That
It's
makes
like
sense because I
one
I
age
see like a
group.
lot of late stage pregnancies in my run through. Which always leads to like kids getting adopted.
You know, the goths almost have, like, my goths almost always have another kid. It's so cute.
I had the land grabs had a set of twins in one of
Oh my
mine.
god, let me tell you about my land grab snafu as soon as you finish this.
Okay, so continuing Marissa's, I played an adult alien cult leader sim, so I had some funny remarriages pop up. Elder Eric Lewis remarried teen Yuki Bear after my cult leader killed his wife, Alice Spencer Lewis. Woo. My cult leader also kidnapped Bella Goth at the same time. Since Bella was living on my cult leader's lot, Mortimer divorced Bella since they were not living together, because that's a good reason to divorce. He was married to teen Evie Delgado the next day. Oh my god. I quickly disabled the teen marriage after seeing these old men marry these teens. Cutest couple I had pop up with MCCC was Wolfgang Munch and Cassandra Goth.
That is cute.
He married... Who did he marry? Oh, he married Katrina in one of my saves. With all the
But
cats.
Marissa's not typically a sim killer, so I think I need to talk to her and like be like, what's up with your alien cult leader? Why is he so deadly?
We all get the darkness out in our own ways.
Marissa, are you okay?
She's not okay.
Yeah, so you may have heard on our social media or something, or just by reading the descriptions of things, that Johnny Zest is supposedly like the long lost child of the land grabs, like the disowned child. So I took that to mean as like he's related, but not a direct relation. But you could easily see it as like he's Malcolm's brother and he's been disowned because he wants to go be an actor or whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is part of the lore. So in my first round with MC Commander, Jeffrey died. Jeffrey Landgrab died, and I was like, and they had adopted a kid or something, and I was like, oh no, I don't want Nancy to die and this kid to be like lost to the system. He would have been adopted because I have that setting on, but still. So I had Johnny move in, but I didn't go and check and change their relationship. So they ended up remarrying, or they ended up marrying each other. Because the game didn't know. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? I feel so dirty.
I think there's many Victorian novels based around this very concept.
Mm-hmm.
I will take care of the ward, and then I will marry the ward.
Oh no, it was just awkward. So Vanity, you may know her from Team Cowplant, and Marissa as well. She started using MC Commander to help us do our research, and she says, I'm not going to lie, I am overwhelmed. I do love the cheat skills option, which we haven't talked about a lot, but yeah, you can totally cheat up those skills. And the cheat relationships option for your sim and other sims in their life. I am now besties with Judith Ward. Get it, Judith? She's like the queen of this episode.
She is.
I'm excited to do the world relationships. I just need to get my feet wet a bit more. It can be overwhelming, and that's totally fine. Like, the great thing about this mod is you can kind of put it in and like Caitlin, you had it in your game for like 6 months and just kind of didn't mess with it very much.
And I turn it off for certain saves. Like there are some saves I'll just turn it off and restart the game, go back in, not use it. And then there's other games where I completely want it in there, so I'll restart it and put it in there.
Mm-hmm. I personally can't play without it anymore.
Yeah. That's right, Mel. You put it on like 2 different computers.
Yeah, I play The Sims more at work because that's what you do at work. But that one did not have it.
Yeah.
And this week I was like, nope, I can't do this. So it's a little laggy on that computer because it's not a gaming computer. Just the downside, but it's still doable.
And you just started, Roxy, since you just got it, how do you think you're going to keep it?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of addicted. I mean, if my game starts lagging a lot, if I think that it's like too much for my poor little laptop, I might take it off. But so far it seems okay. One issue I did notice with my 100 babies, since it's an older save, there were like people who didn't have names anymore, like ghosts that didn't have names anymore that had died. And I think some of my family tree, even for some of the kids, had like lost their names.
Oh.
And so this jumped out at me when I was researching from the FAQ section. So if you want to flag the Sims in your family tree, you can flag them with the never cull flag, and then you enable the MC Cleaner Clean Ghosts setting, which will delete ghosts around the town on a regular basis, but it won't delete the ghosts that you flag to never cull. And EA also will go and cull the game itself, automatically calls out really old characters so that it doesn't get overwhelmed. But, it'd be nice to keep in the people that are in your family tree. So
Man, that's like the Day of the Dead kind of a thing. It's like you're remembering them so they'll never die. It's nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to look into setting that setting. So you can set relationships from your relationship panel. You don't have to be on the lot with them, which is helpful if they know each other. Not so helpful with the baby situation where they don't know each other, but yeah. Oh, another thing that I really like using is if you go to the mailbox, you can summon a sim. So as long as you know their name, most of the time you can type in the name and it'll make them come to your lot, even if you don't know them already. I've had a couple times where I might have had a typo, or I don't know, it didn't work for some reason, like it couldn't find the sim, but most of the time it works.
Do you need the full name or is the first? No, you probably need.
Yeah, you need first and last. So it's pretty fun.
I'm not a good speller.
We hope you're feeling as overwhelmed as we are. But it really is a good mod, and I think it's like good to start with like the flagship, the gold, the one of the ones that everyone loves.
We could have probably spent one episode on each menu, to be honest. Like, it could have been like each menu could have had its own episode and been like, this is how I used it.
And not everybody knows what MCCC stands for. And so I was like, what is MCCC? MC Control Center, Master Cheats Control Center, which Master Cheats might actually be what MC stands for. I don't know.
I think it
probably is.
Minecraft Control Center?
Monkey Carrot Charisma Chameleon.
Monkey
I
Carrot
just like, I don't know what this is.
Control Center.
Mind Control.
Mind Control Crafting Center.
No. Mind.
Monkey Carrot Chameleon Center. I don't know. I don't know why it's a monkey carrot. What's a monkey carrot?
A carrot that looks like a monkey?
Carrot for a monkey?
If you've played with MC Commander, what are your favorite aspects of this mod? Because we want to hear from you. You can contact us on our email or our website. Our website's undertheplumbob.com, or just any social media avenue that you follow us on. Just let us know, especially when this episode comes out.
Our DMs are open.
Oh, yeah. Slide into our...
Slide into
it.
Cha-cha slide into them.
God.
Cha-cha slide into our DMs?
Cha-cha sliding, please.
Do the hustle into our DMs.
On that note, no, I'm just kidding.
Do we have any more stories we want to share before we wrap this thing up?
I wrote down a couple of some of the weirder ones, like notable couplings that happened. I said the Judith Ward one. Alexander Goth and Siobhan got married, and I went through...
Siobhan Fire?
Yeah. And I went through, I was like, let's see what these kids are going to look like. So I did the genetic testing, which I think I sent into the group chat for a bit. I was like, these are actually going to be good-looking kids. I was very excited about it. Johnny Zest and Lucas Munch, the youngest of the Munch kids, got married. Jay Huntington and Jade got married, which I was like, oh, all right. Father Winter moved in with some kind of male townie. And Gunther Munch, the oldest Munch, got married to Minko.
Oh, okay. Good for Miko.
Gavin Richards and one of the saves got married to the goth girl from the Free Spirits household, which I did in my own rotational save, so I feel validated, mainly.
I've never played with, I think her name's Mikey Haas. She's in I think that's the Free Spirits one you just mentioned.
Yeah, she's the bookish one. I pair her off with, like, Gunther normally, because they're both bookish.
But like, she has the worst hair.
She does.
If you go in,
I don't know how to.
If you go in and change her hair, a lot of times to almost anything else, she looks a lot better.
I think they were trying to play it off like she doesn't care about what she looks like. She's going to be a writer.
Maybe.
She cares. She cares a little bit.
I don't know. Somebody was saying, I think it was Gavin married her, and they're both writers, and they were like fighting over the computer. That was funny. I swear Gavin Richards married Judith Ward in one of my saves. It's so funny when they change their names too, and you're like, oh, I guess you married that person.
Or to be like, that wasn't your last name, was it?
Uh-huh.
What was your last name? Which is why some of these people don't have last names, because I couldn't remember what their actual last names were anymore.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, one of my 100 babies, like I went in to get pictures of them all because I was like, I really should be documenting this better if I'm going to go all the way to 100. And one of them had changed their name already, and I was like, no, you need to be goth in this screenshot.
Divorce the person, then come back.
Oh, I just changed it and create a sim. Oh, that's another thing. So like using this MC Commander, you can set certain cheats to always be on, which is really helpful. So like I set it so that full edit mode is always on, and you can set a couple other things. It's really just, my boss always says seconds make minutes, saving time.
Yeah.
It all adds up. Making your gameplay more efficient.
Just put the gif of the slow thumbs up.
All right. So you can't see me. I'm like gesturing with thumbs, but it's.
I did it too. I was like, yeah, with a wink.
It's not a visual podcast.
It could be.
Yeah.
I wave at people when I pick up the phone sometimes, so that's not like, bye, and I'll wave, and I'll be like, hey,
maybe it helps your tone, though, because every time I pick up the phone, people are like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I just don't like talking on the phone.
I hate talking on the phone. Please don't call me.
Note to self.
Part of my job is on the phone, so I have to keep a pleasant tone.
I hate my customer service voice. It's so fake. That's not who I am in real life.
There was a GIF going, like there was some kind of meme going around. Like I don't know if it was a couple years ago or last year, but it was like, my customer service voice is so fake. She's such a bitch. Like, it's like 3 octaves higher than your actual voice. It's like, oh hi, how are you? And you're like, oh god, I hate her.
I hate my customer service.
I was like,
I've talked to engineers all day, and
yeah, I can't
it's
do
rough.
customer service. Like, we had this thing at work where they were like, oh, we might have to send some people downtown during this convention. And my boss was like, you don't have to go because you're not very nice. I was like, oh, good.
You're like, yes.
That's great. I'm glad my reputation precedes me.
At least you know.
Well, I've been there for over 10 years, so it's like, they let me be me. It's great.
I worked at a concert venue for 3 years, so I'm pretty like good at being like, you caused your own problem. This is what I'm hearing, and you want me to fix it. Okay. All right.
Oh, man.
No. At my last job, I was always the person that they called to like tell someone off because they knew that I just stopped caring about that job.
That was the best. When I was like, I had a month before I was because I knew I was leaving like a month before, and like all of a sudden these people who would have annoyed me, I was like, man, people are just a certain way, aren't they? Goodness, move along.
Shall we talk about what's coming next?
Yeah, let's do that. We're not the tangent team here. All right. So,
Who are we today?
we have some upcoming episodes we want to tease you about. So Team Cowplant will come on next week with a episode about Sims building, which I'm sure our building listeners are very excited about. And it's how to make your build have that lived-in look, like, clutter, but in a good way. And hopefully we're going to have a special guest in that episode named Ryan Mills. He's an artist who makes amazing detailed houses in The Sims. And finally, after much applause and prompting and praise, put them on Instagram under Cozy Cluttered Cottage. So we recommend you check him out, and hopefully you'll be hearing his voice next week, and they'll talk all about that stuff. It'll be good. And then
His builds are amazing.
They're so
I'm
pretty.
excited. I'm proud of the boxes I make when I make houses of like, look at this square I created. I put paint on it. Anytime people can build to make it look lived in, I'm like, you're so talented.
Yeah, I admire Sims clutter, but I don't really do a lot of Sims clutter.
No.
Like I know you can add it, like really make it nice and detailed and cluttered if you use like the certain tips and techniques, but in tricks, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that. Let's just put on what'll fit on that shelf and move on. But I feel like I'm getting to be a better builder by challenging myself as we go on. So we will be back, Team Llama, with a topic that was suggested by a Reddit user named Naked Ankles.
Great.
Ooh la la.
Amazing.
She or he wants to hear about the hidden worlds in The Sims 4. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be an exciting exploration of the hidden parts of The Sims.
Which I did not know that some existed.
Which means I need to buy more pets.
I learned.
I still have yet to make it to 6 a.m., so I might have to try and do that. Actually, I haven't made it to any of the hidden worlds.
Oh, these are unlockables?
Yeah, so we'll get into it. It'll be good. It'll be fun. There's lots of little nooks and crannies in the game. So you should follow us on social media if you are not already. We are on Instagram and Twitter at PlumBobCast and Reddit as PlumBob Podcast. And we're on Facebook and Tumblr under the PlumBob Podcast. Follow us, like us, comment, give us love and attention and care and feeding.
Love us.
No, we love you, listeners, and we really love to hear from you. We do monitor our reviews on iTunes, so if you review us there, we're very likely to read it on the show at some point. Our website's undertheplumbob.com. And you can go there to see our episodes, see some challenges and other resources. We have never mentioned this on the show, but Caitlin and I actually collaborated to make a graphic about gnomes in The Sims, like the ones that show up on holidays. Do you want to talk about that real quick, Caitlin?
Sure. Well, it's not a comprehensive. It's not a end-all be-all list of what will appease every single gnome. It's like one per each. So I was like, this works, this works, this works. They were terrorizing the Sims family, and I was starting to feel real bad. But
it's pretty darn accurate.
So each, so I just I made a Sims house, and then I bought a bunch of I bought one of each kind of gnome. And then I just attempted to appease each one. As soon as I found one thing that appeased them, I stopped buying that kind of gnome and moved on to the next gnome. So, yeah.
And it's on our website. It's pretty kick-ass. It's got like each gnome in the picture and then what item is most likely to appease it when you get to dealing with them on seasons, holidays. And it's just awesome. It's gotten a lot of attention when we posted it, and we'll have to repost it.
I was so happy it was so well received because I was like, oh, good. This isn't just a me problem that I was like, this needs to get fixed.
I know. I was like, why isn't this listed anywhere? Like, Carl, what the hell?
It was the one thing I was like, if Carl doesn't have it, then maybe it's not a thing. But then I was like, nope, just nobody, everyone thought it was random.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily random.
So, yeah, I can't believe we haven't mentioned it before. But yeah, go and get our gnome guide. Check out our cemetery challenge, and we'll have future challenges there too, I think. So yeah, our website is growing. It's awesome, and websites are still relevant. It's not all about the social media, Thank you to Deaderpool for making this awesome mod that we talked about today, and all the people that have done tutorials and helped us figure out how to do all the special spiffy things. Thank you. Last but not least, all the listeners for loving the game as much as we do. And we're just really grateful to have an enthusiastic fandom to share our geekiness with.
Yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. There'd be no reason for this podcast. So, thanks.
I thank you guys. We really need to go back to the real world.
Oh,
we gotta go.
Sorry. I have to go log into my insurance company and find out why my husband's not on there anymore.
I'm just going to finish drinking my coffee.
Keep on simming and back up your saves.
Okay, bye.
Badish. Dag dag.
I'm suing. No.
Deaderpool. You've been served.